I was not back for a while. That was pretty much the end of my first year. It's gonna be fine. Yeah, it was not fine. That big season was something else. I got COVID. That returned to a nightclub. We're on catch up now, where we took it too far every single week. One of the best third years of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 9th, I believe, episode of DaneMellowsTalks podcast. So this episode is really all stemmed from this clip that I saw on the Fellas podcast, which is Cal Freezy and Chip. It was the KSI episode. Was driving back from France or Wales or somewhere, and I downloaded it before we left, just had it on for the drive back, and there was 1 minute of it, really, 1 minute, that really caught my attention, and I'm going to play a clip from that now.
Yeah, imagine you're going to uni. Oh, wait, you can't. Lockdown. Oh, so now what?
I swear
I'm paying $9,000 for what?
I swear there was people, actually, that they didn't, they went to uni, didn't get, like, the first, like, so first year of uni is, like, the uni experience, like, freshers, all that shit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they didn't get it.
And they didn't get any of that. It went into the second year. They didn't get any of second year, and they were just left with the exams.
Yeah, bro. Pain.
So in that, they obviously say about how uni has been pretty much ruined for people in that situation that Cal Freezy was talking about. Going to uni, COVID, second year, COVID, third year, you're left without COVID sort of, but you're left with all the exams. Right, I'm here to kind of debunk that and give you my opinion on it. Now, don't get me wrong, it wasn't all sunshines and rainbows at uni in those past 3 years, COVID-wise at least. But it's not been as bad as people would assume it's been, or people are making it out to be. And it's nothing against what they were saying, but they weren't in that situation. I've just graduated this year. So this is my podcast, and this is my video about, has uni been worth it through the COVID years? Has COVID university been worth it? So I thought I'm best breaking this up into the same way that uni is broken up into 3 years, first, second, and third year. And so I'm also going to start off with the inaugural year, the first year. So my first term at COVID, at uni, not at COVID, was COVID-free. My first term at uni was completely COVID-free. I wasn't completely healthy because I had recurring tonsillitis, which was great. It really added to the Freshers Week experience. But no, yeah, it was a bit of a pain for me, but that was me personally. But I still powered through that term, did as much as I possibly could. And I enjoyed my first term at uni. It wasn't what it could have been, but tonsillitis fault. Now, my second term at uni, after Christmas that is, COVID started to ease into the country after Christmas. Everyone was talking, it's just another Ebola thing, it's just going to pass through, everyone's going to get worried, it's going to be gone, and no one's going to even remember it. Yeah, weren't they wrong? One of my medic mates told me that, and I kept telling everyone, I was like, my mate who does medicine has said this, it's going to be fine. Yeah, it was not fine. It didn't make it. Oh yeah, so we didn't make it past Easter at university. Hull was quite, obviously I went to the uni of Hull. Hull was quite late in closing the uni. Which, for better or for worse, really. There was other unis closing and we were still going in for lectures. Don't get me wrong, not everyone showed up at this point. Majority of people were staying at the accommodation or not travelling into uni for obvious reasons. But I still went in. I was on campus. Let's just go in. But yeah, so Hull was quite late in closing it, which was a bit of a weird thing. I think I missed 1 week at uni. My sister's uni had closed. And I dipped a bit early because it was COVID. It was everyone. We didn't really know what it was at the start. And I was just like, just to be safe. My parents came and got me, and I went back. And I say I missed a week at uni. It was supposed to be the week before Easter that I missed. And in my head, I was thinking, I'll miss that 1 week and I'll come back after Easter. I was not back for a while. But because of that, I left loads of my things in my accommodation at uni. I was like, I'll be gone 3 weeks tops. Yeah, I then had to go back, I think, early June or early July when lockdown was eased a little bit, and you had to book a day to go into your room. You was allowed to go in with one person, so me and my dad went, and we just got the rest of my stuff and then took it back home. And that was the end of my first year. But like I say, I left a bit just before Easter, but before that, you'd hear all the horror stories at uni of, this person's got COVID, or this person's coughing, stay away. and you'd be like, my gosh. So you're not, at that point in time, everyone was getting a bit worried about it. Everyone was getting a bit scared about it. Everyone was being quite cautious about people who had a cough or a sniffle or things like that. Yeah, I remember one specific thing of the gym that I went to in Hull. It wasn't the campus one. It was Exercise for Less down the road. And I remember seeing this news article or something that, like, the gyms are the worst place where COVID spreads. So I immediately just stopped going. Have I been back since? But that was pretty much then, at Easter, that was pretty much the end of my first year. Because after that, yeah, we had the Zoom. Well, like, my course had pretty much finished. I just had a few essays to hand in and exams to do, but we didn't really need any more lectures and seminars. So we managed to finish our first year with it. And then it was just like Zoom calls with my mates playing Among Us over summer and things like that. Summer, I swear, I don't even really remember that summer. Going into second year, that was then, this was the year of the full COVID measures. You know, this was a full year of COVID. And this is, I guess, kind of how I'd have to assess, was uni worth it in COVID? Because this is the first and only year from start to finish where COVID was affecting pretty much everything. So like I say, we go to uni and immediately rule of 6 is in place, which was, phenomenal. We had quite a big friendship group pretty much all the way through uni, but especially in second and third year, where the 6 of us just didn't do. You couldn't see anyone unless it was for the daily bit of exercise. So I remember I'd go on a few walks with a bunch of different people, obviously one at a time. It'd be annoying. And then also me and my mate Jason would always go for a bit of a kickabout on the field, just get a football, and just because you couldn't really do anything else. Even through those winter months, it was cold, but that's what we do, the online classes were a big pain at the start. Anyway, towards the end of second year, I really didn't mind them. Obviously, I'll get into what it was like in third year in a little bit, but going through second year, the online classes weren't that bad, in my opinion. I'm not the most technical person, but I can work my way around a laptop. So for me, it wasn't really that much of a pain to get it set up and to get using all of that on Teams and on Zoom and everything. It really, really wasn't too bad for me. Definitely something that was a positive, though, that came out of my second year at uni is that I got into DJing, because it is unfortunate, but the regular campus DJ got long COVID, but then that opened up a door for the radio station, Jam Radio, to get into a bit of DJing, to dabble in that area, because they didn't have anyone else, and it was just someone, we was easy, we could get there straight away, they just threw us on there, boom, now we were into DJing, which then leads into a lot more into my third year, which I'll get into. Second year then, lockdown 2 and 3, I spent the first 3 and a bit months of 2021 at home. So, even though I was doing online uni at that point, I don't look back on my uni time and think of that, because, I wasn't at uni, which is definitely a shame on that. But then what made up for it was we went back Easter that year. I think I went back just before Easter, came back home, then went back for beer garden season, okay? Now, when I say I look back on my time at uni and that time at home, I was doing uni work, but I don't feel like I was at uni. After Easter, beer garden season, my gosh, I look back on that and I definitely think I was at uni, but I don't remember doing one bit of work. I honestly don't know how any of us got any work done in that period of time. I finished second year with a first, and I don't know how on earth I did that, because when the first day beer gardens opened up again and you could actually see people, because don't get me wrong, this went from pretty much lockdown 3 to beer gardens. There wasn't any transition period. There wasn't any, you can see this many people, boom, beer gardens. It was just straight into it, which was absolutely amazing. Because it just meant so much more for when you was actually there. So basically what happened was they opened the uni beer garden at 11 in the morning and closed it at either 10 or 11 at night, because they had the curfew on it. You best believe we was there from start to finish, pretty much the entire first 2 weeks. And I'm talking every single day we was there, because there was an upper tier and a lower tier, and the upper tier was where it was at the lower tier. They had the speakers there and everything, but the upper tier was where the DJ was, which was where I was a lot of the time. And they had the good benches up there. You had a bit of a marquee. And yeah, that's where you wanted to be. And if you wanted to be there, then you had to get there early. You'd have, if you was out for the day, then you'd have people messaging being like, oh, can you get there early and get like 2 tables for me so you can save a seat and things like that, because you'd want to be up there. So we was there from pretty much start to finish, and we spent a lot of money. Listen, my mate spent loads of money there. I spent a lot. They spent loads. But a lot of money was then pumped into the uni bar, and they'd bring out food to you. You'd order on the app, and they'd bring out your drink. God help the staff that was on during beer garden season, because they was full on. But we was ordering a lot of food and drinks. But yeah, that beer garden season was something else. I'm struggling to explain how good of a season it was, and that's the kind of thing that we wouldn't have got that if it wasn't for COVID. Don't get me wrong, COVID was horrible and everything, but you got to look at the bright side of things. And to say that uni wasn't worth it, that COVID uni wasn't worth it, just on the social side of things, that whole beer garden season, no one else that going to uni has ever had before. There's a whole season where going out is beer gardens, is a point in time when you can go and actually sit down and speak to people, where you've still got club music on in the background, but you're sat there and you can actually hear people and you can talk to them, you can make new friends, and it's an absolutely top tier time at uni. And then straight after beer garden season was obviously summer, after exams and after all essays and deadlines were all done, summer. And me and a lot of my friends pretty much stayed at uni for a lot of summer, and that's still class to me as uni. My first, like I said before, summer first to second year, I don't really remember what I was doing in terms of uni. I was probably FaceTiming with my mates and everything. Was in lockdown, so it was the lockdown summer, actually. That'll be what it was. But my summer between second year and third year, like, my gosh, we was at uni pretty much all the time, because the bar was still open. That's all you really need. We was catching up, we was playing catch up, and we didn't want that beer garden season to end. But when it did, it was amazing. And that'll bring me on to third year in a second. But one more thing happened in second year that I definitely think is worth mentioning. I got COVID. So there was 4 of us in the house at the time. There was me, Michael, Andrew, and Katie, who's Michael's girlfriend. And the 4 of us were locked in the house. Two out of 4 of us were testing positive, me being one of them. And it was a big shock at the start. We know exactly where we got it from, and it wasn't that much of a surprise. But we got it, and then we were stuck in the house for 2 weeks, and I was supposed to be going home then. Actually, I had to finish off the summer then at uni. But yeah, we were stuck in the house for 2 weeks. And you might see that as like, oh yeah, you got COVID, locked in. You went from a point of you're back in beer gardens. Now you're at a point where you can only see 3 people. I really didn't mind. I really did not mind those 2 weeks. We had a great laugh. We thought that we'd be pecking each other's heads by like 7 days in, but we really weren't. Everyone got on. We had a good laugh. We had poker nights. We watched the Saw films, or at least a lot of them. We was watching films. We was playing games. It was decent. We did Amazon orders from Morrison's, and we had a good laugh. We had a very good time in there. And so even the time where I got COVID at uni, it really wasn't that bad. It was even funny when we had to drive out, as we'd only just tested positive, and we had to drive out to do a PCR. That was probably one of the funniest uni drives I've been on. It was a great time. But then, yeah, like I say, now we're cracking into third year. And third year came with no COVID measures. So on that fella's clip, Cal Freezy says that, first year COVID, second year COVID, third year, bang, exams. Listen, COVID made my third year, I think, one of the best third years of all time. Now, don't get me wrong, like I keep saying it, COVID was horrible and everything, but third year, absolutely slapped. It was absolutely amazing. We'd made our own society at this point, Extreme Ironing, where we would just hammer it every single Wednesday. We'd get absolutely obliterated, go out to the club, and then Thursday morning, I don't know how we made our seminars. I think it wasn't as bad as a 9 a.m, but we definitely had a 10 a.m. Thursday morning straight after the Wednesday night, where we took it too far every single week. So like I say, nightclubs are back in third year, and going from a beer garden DJ to a nightclub DJ was a massive step up, and I absolutely loved it. There's a video on my channel of the Freshers Week where I DJ'd the nightclub for the first time, and honestly, the hype I got from it, I was so gassed. It was genuinely one of the best things I've ever done at uni, or in my life, really. The energy that you get from that return to a nightclub in Freshers Week as well. I was on the same week as Fat Man Scoop and Dick and Dom. They had on there as well, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, it was we had the 3 main nights in Asylum, and that was absolutely amazing. A top tier week, honestly. And even in my Freshers Week, like I said before, I was struggling with tonsillitis, and I've only got my tonsils out this January. So I've had them for pretty much for 2.5 years of uni out of 3. And each Freshers Week I got tonsillitis. First year it wiped me out. Second year it was a struggle to get through, and I didn't drink as much because of it, and pretty much nothing because of it. And like I said, it wiped me out then as well. Third year I was not letting that happen to me. 3 years on the run, I think I had one day where I genuinely couldn't get out of bed. The rest of the week and a bit of Freshers Week, I was out. I was out drinking. I think I got some antibiotics from the doctors and was like, listen, I don't want to drink and take these, so I'll have my Freshers Week and then I'll take the repercussions and I'll go on my antibiotics then. Listen, whether that was the right move or not, I don't know, because I ended up having to get my tonsils out. But yeah, can't let it ruin my third year Freshers Week. No chance. And that's what I'm saying. With COVID going about, I had tonsillitis, still absolutely smashed Freshers Week, and it was a quality time. Yeah, so it was essentially my only year at uni that seemed COVID free. You had the whole Omicron variant over Christmas and stuff, but it did definitely seem COVID free while going about on nights out at uni. It was absolutely amazing. Yeah, we went out pretty much frequently, at least 2 times a week minimum. Wednesday night and maybe a Friday or Saturday, something like that. But that's what I'm saying, that was minimum. Sometimes a Monday and a Thursday were thrown in there. It was honestly, I don't know how we got any work done. Like I say, second year, I don't know how I got a first. This year, I don't know how I finished that dissertation, because we was in the library a lot of the time as well. But we'd be in the library, we'd plan the night out, and then get our work done so we could go on the night out, and then the next day would be up, lectures, seminars, back to the library, back to the night out, drinking straight up. It was honestly mental. I don't know how any of us got anything done. But that's what I mean. It probably wouldn't have been that good of a third year, that full on of a third year with going out and drinking, and it definitely wouldn't have been that full on if we didn't have that, mindset of we've got a lot of catching up to do this year. The first and second year, like I say, we made the most of it, but I'm not an idiot. We missed out on nights out and stuff. As good as beer gardens was, and as thankful as I am for that time, we missed out on clubs, and we were definitely racking up our night out numbers there, and it was absolutely an amazing year. Like I say, it was arguably one of the best third years of all time, I think, because of that energy that we went in. Was we're on catch up now, and we are not letting this slip through our fingers at all. So those are my 3 years at uni, and just as a quick all rounder, there was a lot of negatives on it, COVID in general, but completely focused in on uni. We lost a lot of time at uni. Even when I was at uni in Hull itself, most of the time there was a lot of restrictions. But I definitely, a lot of people didn't, but I definitely tried to make the most of that. Going out for your daily bit of exercise with one of your mates, and doing what you can was definitely an important thing in that. But definitely the positives in it, the nights out at beer gardens or house parties, the illegal ones that I didn't go to, meant that you could actually speak to people and meet new people. And it wasn't like, when you're in a club and you're shouting to try and speak to someone and they don't have a clue what you're saying. I remember seeing someone in a club in first year. I don't know why this would just come back to me, but I was like, what's your name? And they were like, Weetabix. Right, never spoke to that person since, because I don't know what they're called. I thought they were called Weetabix. So I'm supposed to go to be like, oh yeah, you're right, Weetabix. It's clearly not the name. But yeah, it's things like that, and that made beer gardens and the house parties in second and third year so much better, because especially the ones in second year, because you made so many new friends in second year. You met so many new people that going into third year. That's why we was actually able to make the Extreme Ironing Society, because we had enough people then that was coming to socials and that would see on nights out and stuff, that we'd actually be able to have a really good time. So that was great. It made, like I keep saying, it made for such a better third year that we felt like we was on the catch up, that we felt like we had to make our mark and actually do something in third year, to enjoy the full uni experience. And I know I definitely went to third year off. You've got 1 year to catch up on 3, so get doing every single thing that you can, which I think is a good mindset for all the way through uni, to make the most of your 3 years, especially now it's over. I definitely say have that mindset from first year on, to just get yourself involved in anything and everything that you possibly can. And also, because of the situation that I've been in through uni, I've met the friends that I have, which I'm obviously very thankful for. I've met the amazing girlfriend that I've got now, and that time at uni has like molded those relationships, and I genuinely couldn't be in a better situation leaving uni than I am now, with the people that I know, with the people that I'm with, and the things that I'm interested in, like the podcast, radio, DJing, things like that. I couldn't have done that if it wasn't for the exact situations that I was in at uni, and that is COVID included. So yeah, like I say, that this isn't meant to disregard any the trauma and horrors that COVID brought on us all. Of course, I'm not trying to say that, but uni itself, was it ruined by COVID? Not one bit, not at all. Uni you could have still absolutely smashed uni if you just didn't focus on, COVID's bringing it down, I can't do this because of COVID. You could still do a lot of things, and you can still enjoy uni. It's just in a completely different way. And like I say, beer gardens, it's easily a highlight of uni. We wouldn't have got that without COVID. DJing, I wouldn't have become a DJ if it wasn't for COVID. So even though there is so much bad that came from it, did it ruin uni? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But that has been a solid episode of DaneMellowsTalks, episode 9. So thank you very much for listening. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you're on YouTube, and if you're on Spotify, then leave us a good rating on there, please. And let me know what guests that you want to be coming on, because when this comes out, I'll hopefully be recording a few with some guests. I'll be back in Hull. Like I said, this is episode 9 at this point, and I want to get some guests on very soon. I'm actually recording this before the first one is even coming out. The first one's coming out this Sunday, and this is now Tuesday, I think. Maybe Wednesday. No, it's Tuesday now. So the first one's coming out this Sunday, so I hope you've listened to all of those so far, and I hope you are very much enjoying it, because I really, really am. So thank you very much for listening to DaneMellowsTalks podcast, episode 9. I'll see you in episode 10. Goodbye.